Hi guys, David Nemeroff with Aikido Masters Self-Defense Academy here and the Martial Arts Message. And today I wanted to talk to you about what are some things that can be done outside the dojo when you're not there. Some of my students have asked me, well, what can I do? Because especially with throwing arts, you need a partner to throw them. So what are some things that can be done? This is all dependent, of course, on how often you're at the dojo. If you're at the dojo every day, then your regimen outside the dojo should be something totally different than if you're only there once a week. So for those of you who are consistent and go to the dojo around 3 days a week, then what I would say is there's a lot of things you can do, but maybe not what you're thinking. So one of the things I would say is spend some time meditating and cultivating your ki. All the great martial arts masters develop their ki, their internal energy, okay? Because as we get older, our muscles atrophy, and we need to invest in replenishing our energy level. And this is something that we should do even when we're young, although it's really important as we get older. So spending time and meditating. And if you're not sure, how to meditate or, what you think about, that's kind of a whole nother topic, and you should find a qualified instructor that can teach you how to meditate. Maybe your sensei will have ideas on what you can do. But I think there are many different types of great meditations that will help replenish. Another thing that you can do is study up on your Japanese terminology or Korean terminology or Chinese terminology if you use that in the dojo. In my dojo, all my terminology is in Japanese. We try and keep things authentic. But if whatever culture your terminology uses, study it so that you understand the names of your techniques. I know that it's helped me personally by studying terminology, rigorously, because when I went to Japan, I was able to follow along with the sensei who didn't speak any English. And although I can't hold a conversation in Japanese, once I stepped into the dojo doors, I knew exactly what was going on because of the amount that I studied terminology and got familiar with it. And some of these things that I'm saying, you may be thinking, well, I thought you were going to say jumping jacks or workout or things like that. And yes, I will talk about that, but you got to have balance in the martial arts. And so you got to, if you're training regularly in the dojo, I'm talking, 3-4 days a week, then it's okay to give your body a rest and train your mind. There's got to be a balance between mental training and physical training. Otherwise, it's like only weightlifting with one arm and not doing anything with the other. You don't have balance. So you've got to train the mind and the body. I also think reading books on philosophy is a great idea for training the mind. Opening up your mind to new ideas is really helpful. I read books on martial arts philosophy and Zen, often. And so I think that really has helped my perspective change as I mature as a martial artist and as an instructor. So I definitely think that, reading, or if you don't have time to read, maybe listen to an audiobook, download an audiobook, something like that on philosophy. I think that it trains a different part of you. With that being said, for those of you who maybe don't come as often as you would like, I would practice kata, which are forms, and I think doing that rigorously can help kind of satisfy that need of training when you can't make it to the dojo. And depending on what arts you study, there might be different types of kata, weapons kata, empty hand kata, meditation kata. All these different katas that you can do, or forms that you can practice, I think that's a really good thing, and it helps ingrain these movements into your muscle memory so that when you're away from the dojo, you're not forgetting the lessons of the class. So definitely practice kata. Yes, you can do some calisthenics, some running or, push-ups and sit-ups and things like that to strengthen. However, for me personally, I find that weapons training is a lot of fun when I can't train at the dojo. I find it more interesting than just doing push-ups, which are, I do push-ups, but I find them kind of boring overall. And what a weapon does is it helps develop long muscle, because it is weighted. It helps, strengthen like weightlifting does, although it's not going to be as heavy as like if you're powerlifting. I think that training with a Subarito or like one of those weighted swords, or if you're doing stick fighting, getting a piece of rebar and, the heavy metal ones and, swing those around, and you'll develop really strong hand grip and a really strong forearm, strength. So I feel like, doing things with weapons can really also strengthen as you're training, and again, ingraining those techniques into your muscle memory. So those are just a few things that you can utilize. Of course, yes, you could go to the gym, but remember that, in a good martial arts school, the training is rigorous. And so you need to give your body a little bit of time to rest in between. To give you an example, when I was younger, back in 2009, I think it was, I was not only training, every day at the dojo, but afterwards I would be punching with 25-pound dumbbells in each hand so that I could develop my power and my arm strength at the same time. However, after doing this for a while, I was at the dojo, and one day I felt a ligament in my wrist snap, and I had to have wrist reconstruction surgery. So if I would have respected my body and given it a chance to heal, then I probably wouldn't have had that injury. So just strengthen your body. Don't be complacent, and sit around and say, well, David said that I could relax. Yes, you can relax if you train every day or, 5 days a week. Then you can relax. But if you're training 1 or 2 days a week, then, practice other martial arts related exercises and, maybe some strength training, with the guidance of your sensei would be beneficial. Okay? So I hope this was helpful, and have a great day, and arigato.